Ever wondered how a single cell can develop into a complex human being? It's a question that's baffled and fascinated scientists for centuries. Life in all its intricate glory starts from a microscopic point and unfolds into a symphony of cells, tissues, and organs. This miraculous journey, often taken for granted, is the cornerstone of our existence. It's a tale of two halves, a dance of DNA, and the ultimate expression of nature's creativity. Join us as we journey through the fascinating process of human reproduction. Human reproduction begins with two distinct systems, the male and the female reproductive systems. Now let's delve into the fascinating world of these systems and their roles in human reproduction. Starting with the male reproductive system, the primary players are the testes, where sperm, the male reproductive cells, are produced. This process, known as spermatogenesis, results in millions of sperm cells daily. These microscopic swimmers, each carrying a copy of the male's genetic information, are then transported through a series of tubes and glands, which add various fluids to create semen. On the other side of the coin is the female reproductive system, which is more complex and cyclical. The ovaries are the stars of this show, producing eggs or ova. Unlike sperm, the number of eggs a woman has is determined at birth, with about 1 to 2 million immature eggs. Each month, beginning at puberty, an egg matures and is released from the ovary in a process called ovulation. Now let's talk about these two key players, the sperm and the egg. The sperm's goal is simple, to reach and fertilize the egg. And the egg? Well, its role is to provide the environment for the sperm to fertilize it, and if successful, to nurture the fertilized cell, or zygote, into an embryo. It's a bit like a cosmic dance, where the sperm and egg each play their part in the choreography of life. But it's important to remember that while these systems are separate, they're not independent. They rely on each other and on a multitude of hormones to function correctly. It's a delicate balance, a finely tuned symphony of processes that, when working in harmony, can result in the creation of a new human life. So the male and female reproductive systems, each with their unique roles, together create the conditions necessary for human reproduction. They are the starting point of a journey that, given the right circumstances, can result in the miracle of life. While distinct, these systems work together in the remarkable process of human creation. The journey of human reproduction truly begins with a meeting, the meeting of sperm and egg. Now let's delve deeper into this fascinating encounter that sets the stage for the creation of a new human life. Every month, typically, a woman's ovaries release a mature egg in a process known as ovulation. This egg then embarks on its journey down the fallopian tube, a tunnel-like structure that connects the ovaries to the uterus. And here's where our second character comes into play, the sperm. In a typical ejaculation, a man releases millions of sperm, but only the fastest and the fittest will reach the finish line. The sperm's journey is a long and challenging one, fraught with obstacles. From the vagina, they must swim through the cervix and into the uterus, finally reaching the fallopian tube where the egg awaits. Now let's pause for a moment and imagine this scene. Picture a bustling crowd, all rushing towards a single destination. That's what it's like for the sperm, all vying for the chance to fertilize the egg. However, only one sperm can win this race, and when it does, it penetrates the egg's protective layer in a process known as fertilization. This fusion of sperm and egg combines the genetic material from both parents, creating a single cell with a unique DNA blueprint. And just like that, a new life is conceived. This single cell, now called a zygote, has all the genetic information necessary to grow into an independent human being. It's a miraculous event, considering that it all starts with two distinct cells, one from each parent. But the journey is far from over. The zygote continues to divide and grow, eventually embedding itself into the wall of the uterus, marking the beginning of pregnancy. So, the meeting of sperm and egg is not just a chance encounter, it's a carefully orchestrated dance, a survival of the fittest, and a testament to the intricate beauty of human reproduction. The fertilized egg or zygote marks the beginning of a new human life. Once fertilization occurs, the zygote begins a remarkable journey of growth and development. This tiny cell, the zygote, is the genesis of a new individual. It is the result of the fusion of two sex cells, one from each parent, and it contains all the genetic information necessary to form a new individual. Now, let's delve into the fascinating journey of the zygote. It starts dividing rapidly through a process known as mitosis, where one cell splits into two identical cells. This process of division continues, and within about 3 days, the zygote has multiplied to around 32 cells. At this stage, it's called a morula, which means little mulberry in Latin, resembling its appearance. As the morula continues to divide, it transforms into a structure known as a blastocyst. This structure, composed of a hollow ball of cells, begins to prepare for its next significant step, implantation. Around a week after fertilization, the blastocyst reaches the uterus, where it adheres itself to the uterine wall in a process known as implantation. Implantation is a critical step in the developmental journey. The blastocyst burrows into the uterine lining, establishing a connection with the mother's blood supply. This connection will provide the nourishment needed for the embryo to grow and develop. Over the next week, the blastocyst continues to grow and differentiate into the embryo. The cells start to specialize and form different layers, each destined to become specific parts of the body. This process, known as gastrulation, leads to the formation of the 3 primary layers of cells, the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These layers will eventually give rise to all the organs and tissues in the body. At this stage, the embryo is a cluster of cells, but it holds the potential for all the complexity of a human being. It's a marvel to think that this tiny, almost invisible entity carries within it the blueprint for a fully formed human being, complete with all its intricacies and wonders. Indeed, the journey from zygote to embryo is a testament to the marvels of nature and the miracle of life. As weeks pass, the embryo matures into a fetus, developing the structures and systems necessary for life outside the womb. This transformation from a tiny cluster of cells into a complex, fully formed human being is truly a marvel to behold. During the first few weeks, the heart begins to form and soon starts to beat, pumping blood throughout the nascent body. As the weeks progress, the brain and nervous system start to develop. The fetus begins to form facial features, and soon the arms and legs take shape. By the end of the first trimester, most of the major organs have formed, and the fetus is about the size of a peach. In the second trimester, the fetus continues to grow and mature. The bones harden and the fetus begins to move. It's during this time that the mother might start to feel the baby's first kicks. The fetus can hear sounds and may even start to recognize the mother's voice. And by the end of the second trimester, the fetus is fully formed, but still needs time to grow and mature. The third trimester is all about growth and preparation for life outside the womb. The fetus continues to gain weight and develop the necessary fat stores for temperature regulation after birth. The lungs mature, and the brain continues to grow rapidly. The baby's senses are fully developed, and it can respond to light, sound, and touch. This journey from a single fertilized egg to a fully formed human is an awe-inspiring process. Each stage of development is meticulously orchestrated by the body, with each change preparing the fetus for the next stage of life. It's a delicate dance, a symphony of growth and maturation that takes place over approximately 40 weeks. After around 9 months of development, the fetus is ready to enter the world. This marks the end of the gestational journey, but it's just the beginning of an entirely new and exciting chapter of life. The final stage of human reproduction is birth, an event that is both miraculous and complex. This climactic moment is the culmination of approximately 9 months of gestation, and it's a process that unfolds in 3 distinct stages. The first stage is called labor, and it's when the body prepares to deliver the baby. This involves the dilation of the cervix, a process that can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days. As the cervix dilates, contractions increase in intensity, frequency, and duration. This is the body's way of signaling that it's time for the baby to make its grand entrance. Next, we have the delivery stage. This is where the real action happens. With the help of contractions, the baby is pushed down the birth canal and into the world. It's a strenuous, intense process, but one that millions of mothers endure every day. The moment the baby is born, it takes its first breath, filling its lungs with oxygen. The final stage is the delivery of the placenta, an organ that has provided the baby with nutrients and oxygen throughout gestation. Once the placenta is delivered, the birth process is officially complete. And so, a new human life enters the world, marking the end of one journey and the beginning of another.